Joined by Nebraska volleyball's Lexi Rodriguez. Lex, thanks so much for joining me. I want to go back to senior night, another sweep over Wisconsin, an incredible night, but also a really emotional night. I know that was really emotional for you. So much love on your team. It just seems like such a special dynamic this year. Can you kind of tap into that and describe the emotions of that night and this team?
Yeah, I mean, that night was a whirlwind of emotions. Getting to kind of have a win like that on senior night, and then also just all the emotions afterwards. This team is extremely close, and this group of seniors has just really poured their entire heart and everything that they have within them into this program. This year specifically, I feel like a lot of like kind of our whys is each other. And for us senior class, like we want to finish out with a Big Ten championship, a national championship. And so I think just all those emotions coming together and knowing that like it is one of our last times or playing in Devaney and our last regular season game is just a lot of emotions, especially when you're like have your 13 other best friends that are kind of there celebrating with you. Definitely hard to put into words. It still doesn't feel like it's my senior year. So that night it for sure did. Definitely the emotions kind of got the best of me, but it was super sweet.
I was just going to ask how it kind of put into perspective how much these 4 years have meant to you. I mean, you've become one of the faces of Nebraska volleyball. I mean, little girls idolize you and want to be you one day. And how did that all kind of just hit home on senior night for you?
It was definitely full circle just because looking back to my freshman year, like I was still just a little girl that was idolizing the people on my team and like the people in the NCAA. And it's just crazy to see how far the sport of volleyball in general has come. That makes my heart so happy. But just to see like how many little girls look up to me and how much of an impact I've had just with the sport of volleyball is just insane because never in a million years would I have thought that that would have been possible. And I mean, I said it on senior night, but the program and the state of Nebraska, I owe everything to all of them and my teammates, all the staff. None of it would be possible without Nebraska volleyball and without the culture and the history of this program. And so I think just putting all of that into perspective and seeing just where I've come from day one of college to now wrapping up my senior year is just something I'm extremely proud of myself for and just super happy that I've had the opportunities I've had.
And I know you've made a really big impact on a lot of your teammates. Obviously, you're a captain. I mean, we've seen videos of Harper talking about writing your name on her fingers before games because it just gives her peace to know that you're next to her. And that's so special that you even impact your teammates like that. But how have some of your teammates impacted you on the flip side and kind of what your fellow seniors and some of the younger girls have really meant to you?
Starting with the senior class, I mean, coming in with Lindsay and Kennedy, they have really just been there every step of my journey and vice versa. I've been there for all the ups and downs. We've kind of been through them together. And then adding Layla and Merritt, who are just such kind and genuine people. I feel like they've made me a better person. They've made me kind of look at life differently and just realize that like volleyball's not everything. Like there's so much more like within friendship and relationships and just community and everything like that that you have to look forward to outside of volleyball. Yeah, I can't explain it more than just saying they've made me a better person. They've made me enjoy volleyball more, which is something I didn't even know was possible. And I think that goes for all the younger people too, just seeing how competitive and all the passion that the younger group has, because I know you can see it, but there's a lot in those younger classes. So they've just given me a whole new like outlook on volleyball and inspire me to be my best every single day. So, I mean, all 13 of the girls, every staff member, they have truly just changed my life for the better and have made me a better volleyball player and person. And there's just, I could go on and on, but they truly mean the world to me.
And you could see it just watching all of you and the little glimpses we get to see into your team. You could see it. It's so obvious. So that's really special. But let's talk about actual volleyball now. Obviously, you've now swept, what is it, six or seven top 10 teams at this point. You're just kind of up at the top in a league of your own. And how would you say this team is clicking right now? Describe it on the court.
Obviously, there's been ups and downs like for any team throughout the year. We had an early loss that compared to last year's team where we were just on a roller coaster that was only going up, like that was a lot, something different that we had to handle having an earlier loss. Then we started like Big Ten play, and I feel like every single game we're just getting better. And I think the thing that's so cool about our team is I feel like in the biggest matches and when the points are the most important and in those close games, I feel like that's when we play our best. And I can't exactly pinpoint why that is or what like the secret ingredient is, but somehow in all these close matches against top 10 opponents, we're able to just really come together, really believe in each other, believe in ourselves, and play our best volleyball, which I think has helped us.
So a big competitive fire with this year's team. Do you think it's more than teams you've been a part of in years past, or is there something that's just really clicking with this year's group in particular this season?
I think the competitive edge that this group has, I mean, I said it last year and we pretty much have the same core team. And then having a loss in the national championship, I think can fire anyone up. So I think coming into this year, a year of experience under our belt, I think we just have so much drive and so much of an edge to get back to where we were and to hopefully finish the job off. But yeah, I think it genuinely kind of the same as it always has been. It's always just been that love and belief that we have for each other, which I think is even more important this year because coming off of an amazing season, there's pressures and expectations that you kind of have to put to the side and be like, okay, it is Nebraska volleyball against the world. It's us six against the other six across the net, and that's all that matters. And I feel like when we come into games with that mentality of just facing what's ahead of us at that moment, I think we're
Yeah.
pretty close to unstoppable.
And as a captain, how do you kind of talk to your team, especially now heading into this last week of the conference play? You got Penn State, big matchup, and then going into the tournament. I mean, what are the talks? What is the mindset? And how do you relay it to the group?
The talks will be a little bit different just because when you get to this point of the year, there's a little bit more of those like nerves and just kind of just like anxiousness of like, okay, like it's getting now it really matters. Not that the rest of the season didn't matter, but now it's like, okay, you lose and you're done. And so I think just remembering that like we've had so much experience in big moments, big matches, tight games throughout this whole entire year, and we've been able to give each other grace and handle those situations with patience and grace. And so just I think reminding our team that there's going to be a lot more of those moments, and especially if we want to get back to where we were last year, we're going to have to just keep believing in ourselves, keep handling those situations how we have been, and just being consistent over time. And I think we'll be just fine. But yeah, I'm super excited for the next couple weeks coming up.
Last one I'll ask, it'll be about Penn State in particular, just what the talks have been about this team going into Rec Hall, which they've been undefeated that year. So how you kind of overcome that and take down a really good team.
I mean, I think we knew from the start of the season, kind of like how it is every Big Ten season, it comes down to those last couple weeks, last few games. And so we knew that towards the end of the year, we had a big matchup with Wisconsin, a big matchup with Penn State, and it could come down to those last two matches. And we've been kind of preparing ourselves for that. But having to go into a tough environment to play in, sold out arena, and then an amazing Penn State volleyball team, I think it's going to be a battle, but I think we're ready. And I think we're ready to just finish out the Big Ten on a high note. So we're really looking forward to it.
Well, Lexi, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time and best of luck this last weekend in the tournament.
Thank you.